Welcome everyone to the Mindful Running podcast. We all have our own reasons to run, whether it's to be faster, to explore a new mountain, to lose weight, community building, or just to have guilt free food when we feel like it. For some people, running has a greater significance. It might give them a purpose when they wake up in the morning, or maybe it's what kept them going during an illness. Erik Ahlström understood the power of running when he started the Plogga movement. Plogga or plogging comes from the combination of two Swedish words, plocka up, meaning to pick up, and the word jogging. And running, walking, or even crawling and picking up trash is what Plogga is all about. Erik Ahlström has been working with Salomon for over 20 years. He's been an ambassador for the brand as well as doing community management for what was then called cross adventure before becoming what we know today as trail running. He has also been coaching Swedish athletes and pushing the limits of mountain sports. There is a beautiful quote from the movie, rather a documentary called The Plastic Ocean, which goes by with knowing comes caring, and with caring comes change. Plastic bags, cups, and other trash are filling landfills around the world, but a lot of waste doesn't even make it to the garbage bins. Today, we talk about how one man's drive to clean up the city streets sparked a global exercise craze. With this, I welcome Erik, the founder of Plogga and the plogging movement around the world.
Thank you very much.
Hi, Erik. How are you doing today?
Well, I have a fantastic day. It's just at lunch, and I went to a little quiet place where you don't listen to the traffic, and it's even not so much trash. I was going to try to show some trash, but I only find some cigarettes outside. This is a paradise.
Yeah, sure. And Erik, there is just like so much to talk about, and I already love the place where you are, and I can see the blue skies. And because of the time and just like so much to cover, so I just want to get started and ask you, like, how did you start this movement? What is Plogga or plogging all about, and what is it that it is which has gained so much steam, and it's become a global phenomenon now?
Well, it started actually when I was. Do you listen? Is it clear now, or is it some windy? Wind? Tell me if it's not clear enough.
Yeah, it's slightly windy. It's slightly windy.
Okay, I go down from my behind the tree instead. Well, the thing was, I was living in a small ski resort, and the small ski resort, it was only 1,500 people living there. For me, it was just natural that I was picking up garbage when I was walking to school with my son, and I was going out shopping. And then twice a year, I was starting to organize a different kind of cleanup. And I noticed everybody was, well, not everybody, of course, but the people that was joining and attending, they really liked it. And I noticed the people, it was such easy to get sponsors helping with food and helping with hamburgers, and it was giving us lift passes. It was such an easy activity and an event. I've been working different kind of events for like 30 years, and it was so easy. And everybody was just cheering on and thinking it was such a good idea. And I noticed that I was making a change in a small village like this ski resort called Åre. We had a world championship there for a couple of years ago. And people was getting more and more aware. They was getting concerned. And then I was moving down to Stockholm, and the capital of Sweden. And I haven't even lived there for 20 years. And I noticed something has happened to beautiful Stockholm. It was trash everywhere, and no one really seemed to care. It was a normal kind of behavior and attitude. So I was trying to start picking up litter. I was cycling and picking up litter. I was trying using different kind of hashtags, but nothing was really happening. I was not really making a change. But then, as you told the audience in the beginning, there I was ambassador for trail running in Sweden. So I was start running with some friends. I was running and picking up garbage, and then something would happen. Especially with my girlfriend, she's from the West Coast in Sweden. She made up a name because the name is funny and it's sort of curious. And what is that, plogga or plogging? So we will start running around and picking up garbage, and you could see the spikes when you're adding the adrenaline, the endorphin when you're moving, especially. It becomes like a treasure hunt for grown-ups. And then the media was start paying attention to the name and activity when we were running past them, because we were having fun. We were laughing, and we were like having this treasure hunt. And then it started booming in Sweden, and so many people start talk about it, and it become, as we call it, a new word, nyord in Swedish, in the Swedish dictionary. And how we become international so big, because now I think it's almost 1 million people are plogging on a regular basis, and it exists in all countries in the world. It was a German company called CDF. They was coming up to Sweden to do something really typical Swedish, so they went plogging with us. And then the program was translated into different languages like English and Spanish and Portuguese and French. And then I think I was almost trapped behind the telephone and computer for almost 3 weeks nonstop, answering questions from different blog ambassadors and journalists all around the world. So it was amazing. So here we are now.
Yeah, I mean, when you started this, did you ever think it's going to become so big?
No, I think about the Swedish Greta, when she's doing her school strike. She didn't have a clue, of course, that it will go global. I didn't have a clue about that it was going to go global either, of course. But it's as you said in the beginning, there it's not really about running. It's just changing the mindset. The mindset is really easy. So if you see trash there, if you start picking it up, the person behind you who goes there, he will see that you do that, and then you will start to change, and you will start to change the mind. And I will also talk about run with a purpose, and I also will talk about that it burns more calories to do plogging than normal running or even walking, of course.
Yeah, so with that actually brings me to the next question. I mean, you talk about the big 5 of Plogga and the reasons why people should plog. So can you talk about that a bit?
Well, then you have to stand up. You I see that you're sitting down in your chair. That's number one. We're not born to sit down. We're born to stand up. That's the reason why I'm walking around now. And as you can see, I took my shoes off. I asked everybody to take the shoes off, because I will tell them how everything is connected. Everything is connected to your body, to your feet, and to the nature. And one of the reasons why littering is getting worse and worse is because we're not connected. We're not connected to the ground. We're not connected to the base of our body. Because we have 5 senses, right? 5 senses. And the first sense is the feeling sense. And the feeling sense are we putting into shoes. In this case, I put it in my cycling shoes because I was cycling today. I put it in shoes like this. And if you look at your foot, do your foot look like this? Probably not. And if you take off the sole, if you look like this is your foot, and it squeezes together. So in a way, if you would do the same thing with your hand, if you would put it in wrap it around with silver tape or something, like you do with a pair of shoes, you would destroy the feeling of your hand. You couldn't be able to move your hands because there's such strong tools. So I like people to start getting more connected. Because if you're building a building, what do you start with? Well, you're starting with a basement, of course. If you have a weak basement, the house will fall. That's what happened to our bodies. Because you're walking around with shoes like that, really small toe boxes, and the toes becomes like this. We don't have any strength. We don't go out in the nature, and because we're walking on flat surfaces, hard surfaces. So I like people to walk around more. This is an activity I like people to start doing. It's just standing on one leg like this.
Yeah.
So you're standing on one leg because about 30% of all muscles in your body is in the foot. So as everybody's listening now, please stand on one foot. You will probably start wobbling. You will start shaking because all those muscles, ligaments that are not really used so much or start getting used. And
yeah,
then,
your voice is, yeah. I can hear you now. Yes, we just
Sorry.
lost you.
Okay, and then just to experience more about your five senses, we take away one of the senses, and that's close your eyes. You start closing your eyes when you do this. It's going to be more challenging because you're using the system even more. And then to even enjoy one more sense, putting the fingers in the air, and then it becomes even harder. So this is an activity I like people to do twice a day. And it's so easy because you probably never practice your feet. The feet are so weak, and you don't even, people are ashamed of their feet. But I think you're in India, you go around in barefoot, so you get strong feet. If you don't go around in the cities, because then it's so much litter, it's only hard surface.
Yeah.
So, but we should be out more in the nature. We should go out on different kind of levels. So that's number one, because in Sweden, we are about 50% of the Swedish people are overweight. And that's for two reasons. One is we're not moving enough. We're taking the scooters, we're taking the cars, we're taking those new electric scooters instead of taking the bicycle. And you don't really have to go to the gym. It's just regular kind of gymnastics that you should do. Walk or run, of course, or just lift. Don't use all the different kind of tools that we are spoiled with. So 50% of all Swedes are overweight. And if you look on an average 14-year-old in Sweden, only 9% are moving enough. Because we should move more. So that is, we are looking on a huge health problem with the new generation that spends so much time in front of the television, in front of the gadgets. As the one I'm holding in my hand, that is a big no. The telephones, we have problems. We have problems with that one. And it wasn't like this for 10 years ago, or not even for 20 years. But now everybody knows where you have the phone, and everybody's connected, and you're not even. That is also, you're not getting connected because you're walking around with your headset, you're walking around with your phone. You don't really know where you are. And that's also, if you drink a cup of coffee and you listen to a pod, and then suddenly the coffee is gone, and you don't even know that you dropped it somewhere, because you're not here, you're somewhere else. You're in the music, or you're somewhere else. So that is number one, that you're not moving enough. And number two is going to be more plastic in the ocean than 2050. Because most of the plastic that ends up in the sea, like here, it comes from land. 85% of everything comes from land, and it flows into the river, and it never really disappears because it becomes microplastic. So we eat it, the birds eat it, the mammals eat it, everybody eats the microplastic. So this is, if you know that your pet bottle takes 450 years until it disappears, you want to throw a pet bottle out there. So it's it goes around in the environment. So all this plastic is a great product, but it's too easy.
Yeah, and because you mentioned about the documentary, I mean, it's really disheartening to see that how it's like a, what do you say? It's like a chain, right? I mean, we use the plastic, we throw it around, it reaches the oceans, it's eaten by the fish, and then we eat the fish. So it's like coming back on us.
Yeah, it's very. You know how much microplastic we eat every week?
Yeah, it must be a scary number.
We eat this much. We eat one credit card every week. We got microplastic in ourselves because we drink water that comes from PET bottles or food that is using that is microplastic. But science, I'm not really sure how it harms us. What is bad with it, and even newborns even have microplastic in them.
Yeah.
So we have to start recycle. We have to use it more. It's really weird that because the PET bottle comes from oil, of course, and then you fill it up with water, and then it's transported somewhere. You sell it, you drink it, you throw it away. It's just such a waste. In Sweden, we are lucky because we can drink the water from the tap, but still, you find PET bottles, aluminum cans everywhere. So we have this also. We are making it too easy for everyone. It should be harder, or it should be more rewarding to recycle.
Right. Yeah. So you spoke about the two
Yeah,
out of the five. Yeah. And it's
yeah.
already made so much of a difference already. Yeah.
And the number three is about the wildlife. We already killed about 60% of all the wildlife with spines. And if you're looking on the birds, a lot of birds, they think it's food that they're eating or that's floating around on the lakes in the sea, but it's plastic. And when they swallow the plastic, they will starve to death because it will never, as normal food, it will never get into small pieces. And I also said that if you in India, I've been in India a couple of times. You have all the cows, the holy cows. What do they eat? They eat garbage. And what happens then? Of course, well, they will. A lot of them are so full of plastic and garbage, they will starve to death there also. And some of the and if you're looking on cows and horses, if they start eating uh, aluminium and aluminium with sharp edges, well, will cut up inside. That's something that's alarming and we don't really talk so much about. So that's number three that we kill in the wildlife. We already killed so many of the different species. It's not their fault that we are polluting and taking away more and more of their normal habitats. So number four, it costs so much money. It costs so much money that someone has to pick up the garbage, and it's so easy. If you see garbage there, just bend down and pick it up. So if you start doing it, the people behind you will start doing it. So it's good. It's good exercise. You will get good back. You get good strong legs. So we can use our tax money for something totally much better than having someone is employed to pick up litter. And then the last one is called the broken window, theory, and that means it comes from the mayor of New York, and the mayor of New York he had problems with all the different kind of it was drugs, it was different kind of violence, it was rape, it was a lot of problems in downtown New York. So he was actually clearing up, taking away the broken windows, and he was also taking away all the graffiti. And what happened? Not only like the crime dropped, people were not really the rapes and so on. That it was dropping. But another thing that was really interesting was people was getting connected. People was getting closer to each other. People were not fragile, and people start making friends. It's like being I normally compare it to a clean or dirty bathroom. If you go into a dirty bathroom, you don't want to spend any time in a dirty bathroom. It's the same if in a clean in an environment. So this is the Plogga's big five. That is, everything is connected. The body, the thing outside, and one of the reasons, like I like it just here in this place in Portugal, it's clean. And if you go for the studies, and the studies said that if you go to a football field, for instance, and the football field is full of trash, or if the football field is clean, we will stand closer to each other when it's clean. And now, even more important in the pandemic about the corona, that we really had to be cautious. Now we can stand closer to each other because of the pandemic, but we had to be even more, because we can't really see our faces, and that is even more important that we show respect, and we show in nature and respect to our body and respect to people around us.
Yeah, and I think this is so beautiful, Erik. What are you showing us?
And right now I'm showing you, this is some fishes, and it's this gondola. This is called the Portuguese Venice. So this guy is probably going out for taking some tourists out for a trip. I'm talking to India right now. Hi. Yeah. Want to try the whole of that? Sorry? Want to try the whole of that? No, I'm fine, thanks.
Yeah. So I was saying, Erik, that, you just said it, and it's such a beautiful concept, that people like it's all so connected. I don't think anyone really thought about it that, if you meet friends in a dirty area, then you wouldn't want to meet, you wouldn't even want to go out. And how cleaner places make people more connected to each other.
Yeah, and also like if you where you live, if you're proud of where you're living, then you will have it clean. And also, I mean, if you have the work is normally clean and the bathroom is clean at work, but then you go outside work, and then it's dirty. I don't really understand if I would bring customers to my work and it's dirty outside. For me, it doesn't really get the picture there. So you had to, well, you're not only looking on your own backyard, you have to look on to start. I mean, it's such an easy activity course. I think we Ploggers will never be unemployed. And so it just, if you feel like it's hopeless because it's so much trash, because trash creates trash. If it's trash, it's really hard to start doing it. So start on a small stretch. Start on just one that you're passing every day, or do like this when you're waiting for the bus, or if you're waiting in line or something. Just bend down and start picking up. Bring a plastic bag, right? Bring a nylon bag. Just be a proud litter picker.
Yeah.
It is. You see, this is easy activity. Bending down is good for your legs.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the other point that I would want to make, and you can reiterate on that, where people burn more calories doing a plog run versus a regular run.
Yeah. It's we have some different apps called Scrappen and Go Plogging and Waste Hunters, and it makes, of course, sense. I mean, you're running and you're only using your waist and down. But when you're plogging, first of all, you're using your front of your legs, your thighs more because you're bending down, and then all the trash that we find, because you normally think that you only bring one plastic bag, but you have to bring at least 3. And it's heavy. It's heavy. Yeah. So and I normally use, have 3 bags, and then it's a lot of trash. When we have a world championship in Plogga in Italy this fall, and people was carrying 20 kilos or so around them when they were plogging. So it's a lot of hard work.
Yeah, and in fact, I just wanted to ask you, when like, how do you turn, like, have you seen like the Italy one you just said, but have you seen like regular marathon events getting converted into a plogging event?
Yes. It's a lot of those different kind of events, because in the future we're not traveling to one spot and just look on beautiful spots and go into a tourist destination. We have to make we have to, as I said, travel with a purpose. It will be the same with going on an event. You will not only like sign up for the event and pay an entry fee. You will also run with a purpose. You have to do something. I mean, if you're going to a marathon somewhere, you're not only paying. You have to go plogging before or afterwards or something. That will be the future in different kind of races, because the trash that we find, it will not be trash. It will be something rewarding. Because it comes from we have to recycle everything. Otherwise, we're losing it in this world. I mean, looking on the global change and looking on the climate change and so on. It makes sense. So that will the one that start taking this serious. If you go on a vacation to Delaware, if you're going for a different kind of travel agent, the travel agent should have a Plogga certificate, and the Plogga certificate means that you are a keen plogger, that you have to go plogger before you enter India or whatever. That's my dream.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful dream. And in fact, talking about marathon and plogging, you had mentioned somewhere in one of your interviews where you said that in a marathon, everyone is a winner if you plog. It's not just the podium finishers. I mean, if you're plogging, everyone does come out as a winner and more satisfied.
Yeah, that's really amazing, isn't it? Like normally you share on the first one, the one that passes the finish line, but as we did the big world championship in Plogging in Italy this fall, it was amazing to see that everybody, not even not the fast runners were the winners. The one that collect, because in the end we were calculating everything and see how much CO2 emission we were saving by plugging it up, and it was not the one that was running fastest or the one that was running most altitude. It was the one that collected maybe most PET bottles or most metal, or so it was a tactique. It was when you know the rules, people were taking it so seriously. So that was it was an amazing experience. I'm really looking forward to it. Right now, in some different kind of places that are interested in becoming qualified for the next World Championship. So who knows? We should have the World Championship in Asia. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. And we will have, hopefully a lot of winners. Everyone is a winner, but I think the people carrying the most bags and, figuring out what comes out of the bag. And I think you would probably give a score or a point to a PET bottle versus, a packet and so on. And then, yeah. But it's a beautiful concept.
Is he on the screen? He was organizing a Plogga going through India, weren't he? Running and plugging, because now it's a Giro Italia. They do some Giro Plog Italia. Wasn't he doing that one in India for 2 years ago, something? Or 1 year?
Who's that, Erik? Who are you talking about?
Plogga man? What's it called? Plogging?
Ripu. In fact, we have him here. Okay. He's watching us. He's watching this conversation. Yeah.
So what is his plan? I'm really curious to know if he's going to do some plugging, India plugging, or...
Yeah.
Can you write or say something?
Yeah, I think, he's there. And Ripu, I think, we will just want you to answer that in a comment, and I'll put that right up.
Yes. Hi. We see or is there anyone else that like to have some questions, or what's their ideas about the plugging, the big five?
Absolutely. And in fact, just so that everyone knows here, we have Ripu watching this conversation live. He's the Plogman of India. So visit his page and you see all that he's been doing here. And he's saying,
amazing job.
He's saying yes, hopefully after some predictability returns. Later
Good. We're looking forward to that. Because as I said, we will never be unemployed.
Yeah, I don't think we'll ever be unemployed, and if we are, it's the best thing.
Yeah. No, it's an easy task. As I said, it's just so just and choose your own little playground and be proud of it.
Yeah, absolutely. We have some comments, Erik. I'll just put, people are really happy and excited to be here. I will just put up some of the comments. So we have Ravi who says, being in a clean place makes us feel happy about being. Clean places make us want to spend more time. And then we have Anjana who says, studies show that clean homes harness happier families.
Yeah, for sure. I love that.
Yeah. And then we have a question. What's your comment on the technologies of plastic to oil or energy or composting the plastics?
Well, the problem is with the PET bottles. I was doing a great activity in Munich for a couple of years ago for the biggest outdoor fair called ISPO. We were plugging in ISPO, and we were collecting all not all of them, some of the PET bottles, and they were bringing into the show, and then we was grinding it down to small different pellets, and then we was melting down the pellets and made it into a 3D printer. And the 3D printer made shoes chassis and specially made filters for the washing machine. So instead of having if you wash polyester clothing, it will become microplastic and it comes out in the ocean. But we was actually closing the loop that way. So we was, instead of having the microplastic going out, we was closing it. So answer that question a little briefly, it's so hard because there's so many different kind of plastic, and what could be recyclable, what cannot be recyclable. So my dream is that the single-use plastic will be banned, like Nestle and those ones. You will only have, if you go for, like instance, if you go to an airport in California, if you go to one in LA, you can't buy a single-use plastic there. You can't buy a water bottle. You have to bring your own water bottle, the one that is made of aluminium, and you refill it by water in the airport. I think that will be the future for sure. Yeah. But I know that countries like you're drinking a lot of water. You can't drink water from the tap. But I don't really know how the situation, but just continue to all this single-use plastic, and look how it looks in the ocean. I was in the Philippines for 2 years ago, and I was trying to surf there with my son, and it was just floating on plastic. We were laying there, and we got swallowed by plastic. So as I said, about 85% of all the plastic in the sea comes from land. So we had to plug it up before it enters the land, and people had to know this, or that not throwing it. The rivers and the oceans is no garbage. It's no bin. We had to pick it up before it enters there.
Yeah, and in fact, we have some more comments coming in, Erik. It's a great tip. Choose your own small corner to be proud of. So, like you said, start small.
Yeah.
And another comment from Archita, who says, single use of plastic are the real evil.
Yeah, it is. It is real. And it's also like it's a habit. It's a habit. And some people ask me also, like, okay, to have more litter bins, does that solve the problem? No, it doesn't solve the problem. We got spoiled. And if you go to Japan don't have any litter bins. And why is that? Well, it's a sort of a particular reason why they don't have it. But now it's like this. If you buy a chocolate bar, okay, the chocolate bar is covered with some wrappers. You buy the whole item, don't you? You buy the whole item. So why do you really have to have a litter bin to throw away the wrapper? Because that's just the behavior we've always been doing. But in Japan, they don't have litter bins. What do people do? They put it in the pocket, the wrapper, and bring it home and throw it there. So it's, instead of putting more litter bins, you can have big, huge signs where it said, bring your trash home. And why that litter bin has disappeared. Bring your trash home, and then we talk about the big five. And we have to have, the thing is, no one is really gaining, no one is really winning money to inform you that how bad all this trash is. And that it also could be used as a resource. So it's to have, like in New Zealand and some spots, a really beautiful destination. That's another thing. If you're looking on a trash bin, the trash bin is if the trash bin is full, what do people do then? Well, they put trash next to the trash bin because they think someone is coming there to clean it up. And who is someone? And how does someone know that trash bin is full? He probably doesn't know that. So what happens with the trash around the trash bin? Well, rats come in, birds come in, and they start spreading it, and it becomes more and more trash around those bins. So it's instead of bring your trash home. But I understand it's not, every country is different, all cities is different, all the municipals work differently ways also. But it's, in a way, I find, bring your trash home.
Yeah, and it is, I think, whether it's possible or not, I think each individual needs to make that impact in his or her own way, and like you said, for some reason, we never think that, at least it'll make people think to pick up trash, because we always think it's someone else's job. It's not our trash, so why should we pick it up? So I think Plogging is also changing that mindset of picking up trash, even if it's not yours.
Yeah, and it's as I said, I mean, I started this I started the activity, my girlfriend made up the name, and instead of calling it picking up trash or litter picking, whatever, we call it Plogging, and you can do it by paddling, or you can do it when you go. When I go cycling, I stop on some places, put up pick up some trash. Doesn't really matter what you're doing. It feels good. It feels good in your heart. You don't have to pick the whole street. Or yes, okay, that one really doesn't belong. Let's pick it up. And then you start. Please use the Plogga hashtag, because then so it's going to be interesting see how many is going to use the Plogga hashtag, so we can repost on our Instagram how many is plogging today.
Yeah, and I think people should be proud about their the plunder, the trash plunder that they collect, and kind of spread awareness through that and inspire more people to do that.
Because as I said, it just we call it Plogga Tuesday also, because we do different kind of, well, it is Swedish, as I said, plocka in Swedish, and that's plocka and jogga, that's a combination one, and the big one internationally becomes Plogging. And it's the name is so easy to remember. It's so funny. So I would be happy if this is a name we should use in the future, because it's a new word. It's only been going out for 5 years, and in those 5 years we had 2 years of pandemic, and I hope we're losing it now. So it's who knows? We can start gathering people again, and because it's of course much more fun to go plogging together in a group, and go plogging beside the road and in the cafeteria or in the squares, and people is yes, go. It's so much fun. I'm gonna do a big plogging activity in Portugal tomorrow with a big group. So follow us on our Instagram account.
Wow, lovely. And also I think, about kids, I mean, going to schools and, making kids do that, because like you said, in Sweden and even across the world, I'm thinking that a lot of children become very sedentary. They don't, and picking up trash is the last things on their mind. So how do you kind of make this into a game? Like you said, you put a score against, things, and like, how do you gamify this whole thing so that even children start doing this on a regular basis, instead of just thinking it's picking up trash, and encouraging children to get more active?
This is such. This is a mission. I like this be mandatory in school to do plogging, and why is that? Okay, I will talk how including this is, because in a school you have normally two different categories of students. Okay, you have the one that's good on athletes. They're really super good on athletes, and they are fit. They are strong. They are not overweight. And then they have the other one that are overweight, the one that spend too much time on the gadgets, telephones, and so on. And maybe they're even good in school, but they are not really. To have those two groups working together when they are 7, 8, 9, 10, 40, whatever, is not that hard, because those kids that are not used of moving, they don't want to move, because most things in gymnastics is about beating someone else, jumping the highest, or running the fastest, or running the longest. So in Sweden we have something called school jog. Okay, school jog is like this: you're running around about 1 kilometer, and each kilometer you get for the children cancer fund. So it's good. Oh, it's really good, of course. But the thing is, the guy or the girl that's good on athletes, he runs 7 loops. And what do you think he does each loop? Well, the person that only runs 1 loop, he says, "Oh, come on, you're lazy. You have to run faster. So we have to get more money to the Cancer Foundation." Do that kid that only run 1 loop, does he feel like inclusive? Does he feel like, oh, it's so good to be part of my class? And then come back and say, I was only running 1 lap. And the other one, I was running 7. So that is totally wrong. So how do you turn around it? Well, you get into plogging, school plogging, of course. So the person that maybe knows that each cigarette butt, each one of those little disgusting things, takes 5 years. It takes 5 years until it disappears, but it never disappears. It has about 100 different kind of poisons in it. So that kid that knows that, or he knows that it takes 450 years for a pet bottle to disappear, he could tell the other person that's good on running. So if you have plogging as a part of the game, then those two groups, the good runners and the good ploggers, they could get connected. And then they get good friends in that team. So then we talk about teamwork. So that's something I like more kids to have in school. And also when the kids get home and start talking about the trash, that they know about that it takes 450 years for a PET bottle to disappear. If then they start picking it up, and then it goes outside with his family and his mom and dad, and then the mom and dad said, no, don't pick it up. It's not yours. It's dirty. Then everything is destroyed.
Yeah.
Everything that the kid taught in school is destroyed because the parents doesn't have the same mindset.
Yeah, right. And so we have some more comments coming in, Eric. We have Archita who says, for the developing world, unless there is an affordable alternative to store and carry it, it will be tough to eliminate it. We're talking about plastic. But efforts like Plogging and discussions around this will definitely bring a change eventually.
Yes. And
we have another point, Eric, and then we'll go back to our questions. If we were to do that, bring your trash home for a day, it would shake us up to the seriousness of the situation.
Yeah. Yes. And it's one of the reasons like trash is getting worse and worse is first of all, I can tell you one of the reasons. One is we're consuming differently than we did before. Before we was buying in the supermarket, we were bringing the food home and we were cooking it at home. We don't do that anymore so much. It's food on demand, food to go. We go to different kind of McDonald's and fast food corners and junk food, and we eat the food there. And then we get overweight because it's not really good food, of course. And then we throw it away the garbage. That's one of the reasons that garbage getting worse and worse. The other one is because we have so much packages everywhere. If you buy a small package thing, if you buy a little USB or if you buy these headsets, the package will be 100 the size of the headphones. So it's also too much. We are consuming too much stuff.
Yeah, and it's like it's available to us, so we consume it. So there has to be, we make a change in our own way by plogging 5 minutes or doing it once a week or spreading awareness, doing it, in schools and just making it a big thing. But I think it also has to start from the top and these large companies who are basically developing this, because if they produce this in the market, the consumer will buy it and then the chain starts.
Yeah,
so it's a bigger battle to be won, although we'll do our bit individually.
For instance, if you like, I do that like that when I go buy a cup of coffee in Sweden, and you can buy it. It is if you bring your own cup, if you bring your own aluminium cup, you get a discount. And I always ask the difference. Why don't not everybody have it? But because it has to be, you have to gain something also. It had to be a combination that, okay, you get a discount if you buy it, if you bring your own aluminium bottle. And also if you bring in the PET bottle or the aluminium bottle, it could be, you should get rewarded. And the thing in Sweden, you get only 10 cents from each, and it's not enough. So if we put for Coke and Red Bull and all those, if you put for each time they do a what do you call it, refundable product, you as a consumer would pay more, but then you will get the money back when you return it. And the European Common do a lot of stuff with the plastic directive now. You're not allowed to sell single-use plastic forks and knives and plates and so on. We're slowly changing, but it's too slow. Because it has to be, as you said, on the top. It has to be, the politicians have to put pressure on the bad guys, like the Nestle and the Coke and McDonald's and these ones.
And like you said, it's slow. And I also see around, like, there will be a phase when people will say no plastic and no this and no that. But it's not there to stay. So you do it for some time and then it fades away. So how do you think this can be sustainable? How do we make sure it's not a one-time activity?
It's like you go brush your teeth. You do that twice a day at least. And why do you do that? Because it's your behavior. You've been doing it since you were a kid. And if you start doing this, kids have it like this. If the kids are, the brain doesn't really remember so much because the brain is just developed when they turn 25 or so. So they forget. If they have a cleanup once a year, that's not enough. You have to have it. That's the reason why it's so Plogga Tuesday. Of course, you have to start. It's the same as a New Year's resolution. Most people just forget it, and because it's so hard. But plogging is not hard. So if you do it at least every Tuesday, then okay, well, today is Tuesday. I will pick up a bag. That's it. And then you will remember it, and it becomes a habit. It's like picking mushrooms. You start finding mushrooms more or less everywhere. And then you get addicted to it. And when you get addicted, it's the best addiction I ever know of.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I think, like you said, it's about just being able to do your bit as an individual and obviously wait for the bigger giants to fight their battles. And if you start small and make it a habit and a behavior change, I think that is what needs to be brought about, which will eventually, be like a thing to do.
Mm-hmm. And talk to be sometimes a badass. Be a badass and tell people. You shouldn't say that. If you see something, throw away. Sometimes you don't say, "Oh, you forgot something." Don't do that. Come up with a smile and say, "Hello, do you know that each cigarette butt takes 5 years until it disappears, and I can pick it up, no problem." You do it with a smile. Do it with a smile instead of showing the index fingers, because then that person maybe after a while he will change attitude and say, "Wow, oh well, I care about the people around me and the nature." So then he will maybe do it at the same time. So start slowing down a little bit in this hectic life.
Yeah, and also the feeling of belongingness. Like people usually feel that my home should be clean. That's what I care about. Yeah, so the feeling of belongingness, to extend that feeling into the environment, because that belongs to everyone. And, kind of connecting it back to the big five of Plogga. And really, I think this is something that needs to be talked about more and needs to become more mainstream.
Yeah. Because we already, look on how the nature look like. If you're up in a plane and you're looking down, the whole earth look like vandalized, like we've been raping the whole earth of. It's no natural places anymore, and it's getting smaller and smaller in that way all the time. You have some friends going out. Hello, good plugging, yes.
Yeah, from here it already looks so clean, Erik. I wonder what they will get out after the gondola ride, and we'll be surprised to see bags with them.
Well, I have some organized in Sweden sometimes, and we pick up litter. And we also pick up litter. Some of my friends are divers, so they start diving in Stockholm and pick up a lot of those electric scooters, a lot of batteries, because people was using before the land, the sea, they was using the sea for picking up garbage.
Yeah.
So actually, if they've been plugging.
Yeah. And if you go diving and kind of see, you will be surprised to see. I saw it in the documentary and there was just so much plastic.
Yeah, and most of the plastic is just it floats around there. It's only 5% that comes up to land. The rest of the stuff is floating around and in big chunks. So it's we have probably, as I said, in 2050 it's going to be more plastic than fish in the sea.
Yeah, we have a question, and while I know that video games make children more sedentary and we should stay away from the phone as much as possible, but do you think, how about creating plogging video games? Do you think something like this might help in raising awareness?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Like the Pokemon, like when the Pokemon Go came, the Pokemon Go, people was getting active. The kids was out there more or less hunting for the Pokemon. So if you could do the same, and here we talk run, but run with a purpose, and it's for sure. It's just if you can make someone, but I don't know to have the business model and how do you take money out of it. So to start developing an app, we were starting, but we are really small organization and we haven't made any funding. But I hope that Plogga someday will be as big as Greenpeace or World Wildlife Foundation or something, and it was going to be a big headquarter like the United Nations in New York.
I'm sure it will, Erik, because in these 5-6 years, it's already become so big. So I don't think that day is far.
Well, we have to have a younger generation. You know, I'm turning. I turned more than 60, so so it has to be someone from the younger generation that will take over, because our generation, we have screwed up. You know, we have destroyed so much of the world and the way we are thinking. So So I hope the Greta generation they're not only sitting and school striking. I hope they're also plugging and being active and not only walking around and striking. Bending down and picking up the litter. If we start doing that, then we would make a double change.
Absolutely. And I think each one of us watching this podcast right now can be their own ambassador in their own way. And then start. Yeah. So we have some more questions, Erik. We have Dunu who says, what do you do after you have picked up the litter? What do you do with that litter? Like, I know that how do we make sure that the stuff that has gone into the garbage bin does not come back on the road?
That's a good question. It's a really good question, because I always get asked that one. And I normally say it like that. We are the extension of the litter bin. So we are putting the stuff in the litter bin instead of it laying on the streets and ending up in the lakes and in the rivers. So of course, the best way is always to recycle it and know where it ends up, but we can't. It will be too much work. So the easiest is just to plug it up, put it in a litter bin, and then if you have the time, if you have the energy, check it up where it ends up. But if you do it with kids, then it's even so. Because normally when I do with companies and so on, they feel like, okay, I've done a good job. It's good in my heart, in my legs. But they don't really want to start ripping up the bags and see what's inside and start recycle it. But if you do it with kids, you have to recycle it, because I understand where the different kind of trash bins, where you're going to put the plastic, the aluminium, or the metal, or the paper, and so on. So it depends on what kind of target group and the situation. The situation looks different in each country and each places. I mean, sometimes we have so many cigarette butts. So normally when I go plugging, I don't go for the cigarette butts, because then I wouldn't do anything else. I would just stand around, going around in circles for 10 meters in some places. So forget about the cigarette butts. Take the big one.
Yeah, sure. Another comment. Apurva says, should be included in childhood education the 4 R's: reading, writing with the R, arithmetic, and recover.
Yeah, and plugging.
And plugging, yeah. And so Erik, what's next? I mean, what's coming up? I know you're traveling the globe, you're traveling around the world, doing these plugging activities. So what's next on the whole Plogga thing?
Well, tomorrow I do this below in Porto. I go plugging with them tomorrow with a big group, and then I'm going to meet the mayor of Braga in Portugal, and then I'm going to go to Spain with the Kilian Jornet Foundation and do some plugging with Kilian Jornet's mother, Nuria, outside Barcelona, and then it's up in the blue. I maybe go to Korea with Volvo. I maybe go to Vermont, the US, with Darn Tough. But I don't really just want to travel. I want to travel with a purpose, and then I would like I don't want people to have it as just washing the climate, greenwash. I like them to do Plogga 2.2 or do a big tour like they do in like you guys doing in India, and they're doing the Giro Plogger now in Italy and the World Championship. I just don't want to just come and lecture and do Plogging for one time. I like it to be more longer. I like to have a big organization. I like to have ambassadors everywhere because it's not a hard activity.
Yeah, and I mean, we can only think of benefits, coming from Plogging. I think, yeah, we can only think of benefits, and there is not a single, con that anyone can think of. So yeah, I mean, for everyone to start small and, pick up a day when you want to plog. It should not be overwhelming. It should not have a target that I have to collect 3 bags. Start small, fix a day. You can also think of probably plogging after you finished your run for 5 minutes. It doesn't have to be during. You don't have to pick up every trash that you see your way. Just pick up, whatever that comes your way, and it's easily to pick up. But just start. And I think to keep it sustainable is to have fun. Running anyway brings about this whole community. And so it's community building, it's blogging, it's to have fun, because to sustain anything, we need to have fun. So
that's it. Big smiles.
And plog with a big smile. Yeah. And probably everyone can become an eco warrior. I can see people after this, going and buying stuff from restaurants and asking, is that wrapped in plastic? Is that wrapped in plastic? And for all 95% of the times, it'll be yes. So do you take that? Do you don't take that? And how do you kind of change that and, refuse to buy food which is wrapped in single-use plastic?
Yes. Yeah, sometimes you do it both with a Greta atmosphere, with a fist and also with a smile. It's had to be a combination.
Yeah. I think one last comment here, Erik, before we sign off. When plogging is good to create awareness, it is a reactive solution. Shouldn't the focus be more on finding solutions to eliminate the problem at its inception level? I think we covered that, but I think it again ties it back to the bigger problem.
Yeah. No, it's right. It's right. But I feel like our aim is to be bloggers. I mean, it's so many people out there. So if we are enough, we are enough. We can make a change. But just show them that we are bloggers. That's about it. And then once you start running, then next time you go walking. But when you're walking and picking up garbage, you don't get the same attention, and you don't get the same adrenaline or endorphin rush as you do when you do the running. But ask them, if you're going to enter an event or a race, ask them, will you have a plogging class? Why don't you have a plogging class before or after the race? Ask them. It's an easy activity.
Yeah. Another comment, Erik, travel with the purpose, great thinking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure, thanks.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Erik. I think, we had a wonderful interaction, and it's great having you here, talking to us here in India. And we also have people from around the world tuning in right now and listening in. I'm sure this would have made some change. And, I'm sure everyone is aware of, the damages of plastic use and just seeing litter around and wanting to live in a cleaner environment. But I think things like this, sessions like this, conversations like this also makes people think more. And, probably 10% of the population who watch today might talk about it and be more aware, although we are in our subconscious, but bring it more to the forefront and be more aware and spread the word, and show off the trash that you collected. And that's how, we can start and do this.
And but one thing I forgot to do. I mean, I hope everybody's standing up now, because we had to do. Actually, we should do at least five burpees, or we should at least do 5 of these. So everybody watching, please stand up.
Please stand up, everyone, before we sign off. Yeah, yes, and then we can do some
take off your shoes. Yes, take off your shoes, take off your socks, and look on your feet, spread out your toes. Okay, everybody's standing up now. We're going to do 10 of those.
Everybody's standing up?
Are they? Yes. Okay. 10.
Yes, I hope everyone is standing up. Yeah.
1.
We can start with squats.
And then you do the Plogga move. Put down your fingers.
Yeah.
Pick up litter.
I just hope everyone's doing this. Otherwise, we are looking like fools.
Yeah, but we can't force people. We say we can't force people to throw out garbage. We can't force people to go plugger.
Yeah.
We can't force people to stand up in it. But I imagine when you do the activity now, it's good for your soul. You get smiles. Well, that's about it. That's all the contribution I can do.
Yeah, thank you so much, Erik. And I think we are ending on a great note here. And would request everyone to start plogging, go for a walk, start picking up trash. I think another point is like all that they need is gloves and a trash bag.
Yeah.
And even if the trash bag is plastic, pick up enough garbage to offset it.
Yeah, you will probably find a plastic bag out there. So just pick one up.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. And everybody, keep on plugging. Everybody can make a change. Have a good continuing of the day.
Yeah.
Thanks
Thank you
a lot
so much, everyone. And have a great weekend.
High five.
High five.